Hi guys, welcome to the video number 229, and in this video we're going to talk about VBA time functions, right? So I'm going to talk about the functions like hour, minute and seconds, and of course there is a function called now, and we're going to see that how we can actually use these kind of functions in our Excel VBA, right? So let's go ahead and open the Excel and start the coding. So let me just quickly write all the functions which we are going to actually do. So we're going to cover the now function. I'm going to tell you about also the function called hour, and there is a function called minute, and we're going to cover the second as well. Right now you might have used them in the Excel, but in the VBA it works on the different concept actually. So let's quickly start the session. The first thing, we go to the developer tab, and we're going to click on the Visual Basic, and I'm going to click on the module. Now for those who are watching the channel for the first time, this is the video number 229, and you can see all those videos on Excel, VBA, MS Access and Access VBA on my channel, and you just actually need to go to the playlist, where you see that we have created so many beautiful lists, so many playlists we have created, and according to the the playlist you can see that what exactly you're looking forward to. So this is the video which I'm going to talk about. This will be available in the Excel VBA functions, right? So you can see here access table, access queries, Excel VBA access, interview questions, then Excel VBA loop examples. So there are a lot of subjects which we are covering day by day, right? So now the first thing which we want to do is I'm going to tell you about that how to use the now function. So let us start the function. So discussion on time functions. Okay, this is what exactly we want to do. Now this is absolutely going to be the very basic video on the functions, right? We are not really going to do any intermediate or advanced kind of a stuff here. We'll keep it very basic so that you can have the idea that how to use the VBA functions, the inbuilt functions. So the first thing which I want to do is let us capture the time of the machine which I have right now, right? So for that I'm going to use a function called now, the same function which you use in the Excel also. You might have used it. If you don't, then just have a look. When you press equals to now and you press enter, you get to see the date and the time. So this is the date and the time as per the computer, the laptop, and it is going to basically capture your machine time, whatever the time your machine says, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to declare here, let's say, any variable. So let's give it a name called my time. Okay, and I'm going to declare it as, let's say, date. Okay, now I'm going to say that my time equals to now. This is how you declare it. And if you now going to reflect this, the time that give us the time, what exactly is the time, so when you run this, look at this, what will happen. You will get the 13th of October 2016, and this is right now the time of as per this laptop. So this is how you can also use the this function called now, which is a VBA function, right? Now any point in time, if you want to extract the hour and the minutes and the seconds from this, then how you actually going to do that, right? So in this case we can use the hour function, we can use the minute function, we can use the second function. For example, let us declare some variables here, dim a, and then b, and then c. Let's say I have declared 3 variables here. Now a is equals to hour, and hour of what? Hour of my time, which is a variable. This is going to give you the now time, so we are going to extract the time from that. So let me just quickly copy this, and we're going to paste it here, and let's just keep this b, and let's just keep this c, and here instead of writing the hour, you're going to write minute. Okay, and here we can write the second, right? Now when you're going to run this, have a look. I'm going to put the local window on so that we can have a look at how exactly it is going to work. So there we go. Now let me run the code. Now you can see here that we have got all the the variables coming here, a, b, c, and my time. Now the moment I execute this line which says now what is the time right now, if you have a look, you can, let me just modify this. Okay, now you can see that this is telling you exactly the the current time as per the machine, right? This includes the date, which is 13th, and then hour, and then minutes, and then seconds, right? So this is what we get in the message box. Now this a is going to have a look here on this local window. This should actually return the hour. So what is my hour at this point in time? Obviously it's 0, right? Because it's 12 a.m. right now. And what about the b? So b should actually give me 01 because it's minute, and as expected, when you run this, it is giving you 1. And similarly, when you're going to execute this line, this is going to extract the time from this, which is 43 seconds. So let's just run, and there we go, guys. Right, so in this way you can actually do a lot of things. These are the functions which you can use, and these functions are generally used in calculating the time also, that how to calculate the time which is taken by your macro, how many seconds, how many minutes, all that, right? So in this way you can actually use these functions, right? So these functions are not only used here but otherwise also. For example, if you have here any sort of, let's say, the time numbers. So for example, let me insert here some numbers. So I'm going to press here or maybe I can write some number, let's say 23 and 22 seconds, and here let's just add 12 hour 23 seconds and 12 seconds, and let me add 8 in the morning. So now suppose these are the things. These are the different timings, right? Now you want to actually extract the time, you want to extract the hour. So let's just create the header. So I'm going to write here hour, I'm going to add here minute, and I'm going to add here seconds, right? So how you're going to do that? So we can again run the macro here. We can create the macro which is going to work on all these numbers one by one, and you can extract the hour, the minutes, and the seconds, right? No doubt you can also use the Excel functions, but we're just trying to understand that how the functions are going to work in the VBA, right? So in this case, guys, what we can do is here where you have defined this my time equals to now, it's not actually going to be the now. Then what you can do is you can define it here. Let's say, for example, we can define it as range and the value in the D2 cell. So this is what I'm going to define, right? So let us first quickly run this. Let me run this. Now you see, have a look on this my time. It exactly says 14 hour 23 seconds and 22, which exactly is this value. And now that rest of the job, it is going to extract all the numbers. So A is 14 now, and B is 23, and C is 22. So in order to work on all these three numbers, you can also combine this with the loop, right? By the way, if you haven't any idea about the loops, or you really want to learn the loops, then please go ahead on this channel and find out this Excel VBA loops example. There I have started a series recently, and I think we have got around 8-9 videos on the loops starting from the scratch. Though this will give you 20, I think more than 20 videos, but out of those 20 videos, the 7-8 videos are the very basic videos, and the rest of the videos are really very super advanced, right? So you can watch all those videos, and then you will understand what exactly I'm going to do right away in this video. So now let's say what we want to do is we want to run this one by one. So we can say that run this loop 3 times. Obviously we need to run this 3 times. So maybe I can do one thing. I can write here for, let's say, I equals to 1 to 3. Let's say I want to run the loop 3 times, right? So I write the next word, because for is always written with the next word, and I just now here what we want to do is I don't need the message box. First of all, let me just get rid of this, and I also, you need to declare it. So let's just declare it as long, and now this A equals to my time. So this my time is very important for us. So this should not be now written outside the loop. You have to write this inside the loop, so that every time the value changes. And now this is the I which I'm talking about here. So maybe we can do one thing. Let me tell you this wonderful tip. Generally, people think that the loop, when you run the loop, it always generally starts with the 1. It's not that actually, right? If you go ahead and if you have the understanding on the VBA arrays, then, or if you have watched my array VBA videos, then you see that there we have used a lot of times the 0 as well. And in this example, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the 2 to 3. Of course not, because I want to run this loop 3 times, so I'm going to make it 2 to 4. So the first value which I will take in this loop, that is going to be 2. Why I'm using the 2? Because so that I can use it here instead of the D2. Now we are going to actually concatenate, we are going to join this with I. So what will happen, this will make your code very dynamic, super flexible actually, right? Because you see, when you're going to run this loop the first time, this I is going to be 2, so 2 is going to join with the D, and the code becomes range D2 dot value, right? And the second time when you're going to run this loop, then the I value would be changed to 3, and then 3 is going to concatenate with this D, and it makes the code range D3. So automatically what will happen, your this 14 23 22 is going to be next time 12 23 12, and the next time 8 0 0 0 1, right? And that is why we need this. Okay, now once you have got A, B and C, what is the next thing you want to do? Now the next thing I want to do, that on the same row but on the column, different column, which is E, I want to print the value of the A, right? So what you can do is, let me just copy this code and write it here, equals 2, and instead of this D, we should write here E, and this should be equals to A, right? And simply just copy this and paste this here, and we can change the column, because in the column F we are going to have the minutes, and in the column G we are going to have the seconds, right? So this is I think a very good combination we are creating using the functions and also the loop, right? So you will understand this is a very good loop we have made, because we are doing a lot of things here inside this loop, right? So let's just give some indenting, and there we go. Okay, so I guess we are through with this, and let's just run the loop and let's see. Okay, there we go. Now you see that the value in the I is 2, and this 2 is going to be concatenated with the D. So finally what we are going to get in the my time is 14 23 22 seconds, right? Exactly this time. Okay, you know that this A and B, C, so A got 14, B got 23, and C got 22. Perfect. Now this value is going to be inserted here, as you can see here, 14 and then again 14, and yeah, that's where it should be actually B, not A. So let me just rerun this from here, and there we go. You can see here in the background, and I'll also shrink the width of this window. Yeah, there we go. So now you have the 22 here, right? The next time the loop is going to run, I is going to be 3. So if I is going to be 3, then this is going to be concatenated with this. So now the next value we have is 20 12 23 12 12 23 12, right? So you will have the correct values here. I can quickly run this, and this is the last time the loop is going to run, because I is now going to be 4, and there we go, guys, right? So the loop finished, and you have got here all the values, right? So in this way also you can prepare the code. Now I can also make this dynamic, because we have written here 4. Why the 4? Because of the reason that the last row is the 4th row, right? So what you can do is, instead of writing here 4, because in future if you have some more values, then you, rather than changing the code here, you can also find out the last row, right? Again, in the loops, if you go, you can watch the video how to find the last row, right, on that, under that playlist called Excel VBA loops. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out this from the this one lag, because I know that I don't have these many rows, and I'm going to use the control up arrow. This is how it works actually. Okay, and this shouldn't be actually be A, this should be D. So what will happen, this will go in the D 1 lakh cell somewhere here. Let me just write it down here. The code goes here, and from here it is going to use the control up arrow, right? Control up arrow, if you record the macro using the control up arrow, this is exactly the code you will see. And control up arrow, by the way, is to take you to the last filled value, ignoring all the blank cells, right? So that's why it is always going to give us the on the correct number, correct cell, right? For example, if I go ahead and if I add some more number here, let's say this is the one, and let's say this is the one, you know, we have added, and the moment I'm going to delete this every value, and let's quickly run the code. So I'm sure that loop is going to pick up all the things. So let me just quickly run this. There we go, guys. You see that? So you have got all the hour and the minute and the seconds, right? So this is what exactly I wanted to tell you guys, and that's the end of the video 229. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. You have the link on the right bottom corner, and you can watch all those amazing playlists, all the videos, 229 videos on the different subjects, right? I'll be back with another video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful time. Thank you. Bye bye.